our fifth grade rising Love Hall families, because you all have been together, many of you for now 6 years. Some of you have joined along the way, but I know that this is family, and you are very much in this journey together as you transition into middle school, and so it's an honor to welcome you together and to be able to spend a little bit of time with you before the group grows and the class of 2024 is fully formed. So thank you for giving us a little bit of your time this morning. I'm Danette Morton, head of the middle school, or WIT of the middle school. And it is an honor to take the baton from WIT in just a few more weeks and to have you officially as a part of the middle school family. This morning is one of a couple of events that we have going on in the next few weeks. So I want to help try to set the agenda for today and distinguish this from other invitations that you may receive. So this morning we really have 2 items on the agenda. We have assembled a group of 6th graders whose parents were in your shoes last year. So these are students who have made the transition from Love Hall. They're still standing, they're still smiling, and they can give you from their perspective, so you can imagine your child in their seat, a little bit of what their experience has been like, and we've tried to pull together some questions that are typical questions that parents might have at this point in the journey. The second part of our agenda will include a time to tour around the school, and that will be with one of the middle school leadership team members, and we'll break you into smaller groups and hopefully give you an opportunity to see some of the building, some of the key spaces in the building, peek into a few classrooms, and also have a chance to have your questions answered in a smaller group. And so that's kind of the dual agenda for today. On Thursday, at 6:30 p.m., we want to welcome you back to this building. We'll be on the other side of our world in the Oglesby room. And that meeting will be a little bit more of an extravaganza. We'll have some balloons, it'll be a bigger crowd. We will be greeting our new families, and I said greeting for a reason, because we will be greeting our new families, and I really want to enlist you in that. The class of 2024 will be almost set in a few weeks, or actually as of Thursday night when we all come together for the first time. For the most part, except for a few additions in 7th grade and maybe again in 9th, or a student or 2 arriving along the way, the group that gets assembled, comes together on Thursday night, will be the group that walks across Presley steps together. That will happen. You want that to happen in a few years forward. And so this really here is the base of the class right now. You are the group who know Westminster, you know each other, you've had many years of experience together. And for many of the folks who will be walking in our doors on Thursday night, they are still very much strangers to the Westminster community. And so I really want to encourage you to reach out, to look for those new faces. Maybe on Thursday night it's just a smile and a how are you, but over time, really do hope that you can help us to really shape and form the community that goes forward from 6th grade through 12th grade. So we will greet the new families on Thursday. We're also going to learn about all of the nuts and bolts that you need between now and August. So things like, what's the summer reading requirement, and what are the summer reading books? We'll actually have a table from the bookstore out with the summer reading selections. If you want to pick them up and take them home on Thursday night, you'll be able to do that. We'll have a little bit of a handout that has things like the middle school schedule in it. So if you'd like to have a copy of that to post on your fridge, or to just get yourself accustomed to how the day flows, we'll have some of those hard copy and specific nuts and bolts details for you on Thursday. Does that sound good? All right. Okay, well, without further ado, in true middle school fashion, we want to keep it moving and keep you moving, but we're going to get started first with a moment with our students. And so to do that, I want to introduce you to the folks who I like to affectionately call your cruise directors for next year.
He's leaving.
And that would be Walter DePriest sixth grade boys chair, and Susan McMillan, sixth grade girls chair. If any of you are cruisers or have ever been on a cruise, you know that as soon as you get on board, you get introduced to your cruise directors, and they sort of show up at every meeting and keep everything going. And that is pretty much what Walter and Susan do. They're here to help with the small questions, the big questions, everything in between. And it's an honor to introduce them to you today. You'll hear a lot more from them in the meetings to come. So,
why, thank you to them. The love of their
There to you. Good morning, everybody.
He's going to try to be really serious, but you see, I'm really old, so I probably will not be really serious.
I'm smiling now.
Oh, good, that's good. I'm glad you're smiling. I'm Susan McMillan. I have a sixth grade daughter who went through Love Hall, so I was sitting where you were sitting last year, and I think every sixth grader survived, right? And we didn't lose any on any of the trips we took. So the biggest thing for us to tell you is that sixth grade is a lot of fun. It'll be a great year. It really will.
And I'm Walter DePriest, and I actually just had my student-led parent conference in Love Hall yesterday with my 6-year-old in pre-first. So this is sort of one of the first times that I've looked out, and I'm sort of one of you now. So really excited that you're here. I've got a ways to go before mine reach this really fun inquisition that we're about to have, guys. Smile.
Aren't they cute? They're really cute up there, aren't they? The important thing to know about these wonderful children is that they are so well equipped when they came to Clarkson Hall that Mr. DePriest and I didn't prepare them as well as perhaps we could have, but it's to show you how articulate and phenomenal these young people are. Do you want to introduce them? What do you want to do?
Absolutely.
Do you want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
Why don't you start, James?
Well, hello there. My name is James Ritzbach. I'm a sixth grader. Yeah.
Hey, I'm Kadir Smith. I'm also a sixth grader. I've been here since second grade.
Hi, I'm Frankie Sayers. I've been here since pre-first.
Hi, I'm Campbell Dietz, and I've been here since pre-first.
Hi, I'm Olivia Montag, and I've been here since pre-first.
Hi, I'm Phil McPhail, and I've been here since pre-first.
Hello, I'm Ryan Carr, and I have not been here since pre-first.
And I'm Walter DePriest, and I've actually been here since pre-first.
So we just thought we'd turn it over to them. And we collected some questions over there. I would say, if my memory will serve, which it probably won't, would y'all like to address what is one thing? This was kind of fun to ask yesterday when we actually did meet with everyone except for Olivia, because I forgot to tell Olivia that we were meeting. But what was the one thing your parents were really worried about for you coming into the middle school, but you kind of felt like you got a handle on it? Or what were they most concerned about? Who wants to start? Frankie does.
My parents were worried that I would get overstressed or I would stress too much on the quizzes, and I had the confidence when I went into sixth grade to get through the quizzes, so they're definitely more comfortable with my stress level and don't really know when my quizzes are now. So I've grown that independent.
Which is that's a good thing.
Who else?
So my parents were really worried that I wouldn't be able to manage my time because I was doing a bunch of sports plus homework, and I have a bunch of siblings too, so I was always pretty busy. But that worked out fine. So yeah.
My parents were concerned that I wouldn't do my best and that I wouldn't always try, and I showed them that that's not what I did.
My parents were concerned that I wouldn't have enough time to do my sports because of all my schoolwork and studying, but I proved them wrong. And they were really worried about it because my older brother was telling me, you have to do 200 math problems every single day for homework, so that was pretty scary.
That might have been an exaggeration.
My parents were worried that I wouldn't manage my homework in the right way, but I did a pretty good job, I think.
Ryan, what were some specific things you did to manage your homework well?
You need to use your agenda or your planner a ton.
A planner? What a great idea.
And some classes require it, so.
It's actually on your book list moving forward. So don't worry about it, it's on there.
Anybody else want to have a pointer about how you manage all of your extracurriculars?
I found a way to do this. I do the hardest homework first, so that way if I'm just too tired and need to go to bed, I can do the easy homework really quickly in the morning. So, yeah.
Yeah, I play softball and I have a game nearly every other night, and I play tournaments for 12 hours on the weekend. So I found that doing homework when I get home straight from school or doing it in the library really helps.
And I found agendas are really helpful, but it's also easier when you have a calendar so you can actually see that there's a quiz or a test coming up. Because if you're just flipping through pages on your agenda, you'll flip the page and say, oh, I have a quiz tomorrow, let me study. So,
Yeah, I'm gonna agree with Kadir. Planners are really helpful, especially there's a calendar on Schoology, and that has all your classes in there, and so you can see like when is homework gonna be due, when is my next quiz, when is my next test, and my parents also were worried about studying for those quizzes and tests, and preferably I use Quizlet, but other kids can use note cards or just like anything they can, but I highly suggest for them to just go through some studying strategies and then find one that best suits them, and it can really help.
James, in our meeting yesterday, you were talking about extracurricular activities. So how do you handle all that?
So I have been in both the play and the musical, and I will suggest that to all the kids. It's a great experience. You get to be friends with a lot of.
Did you tell them that?
No?
You get to be friends with a lot of 8th and 7th graders, and it's just a great way to bond with people. But it can be a problem with homework, and sometimes rehearsals can go as late as 8:30 towards the end of the rehearsal schedule. And in that case, it's really helpful to go to office hours when you can, and the directors will let you go to office hours because curricular comes first before extra activities.
And James, if they don't know what office hours is, could you tell them?
Office hours is, so here in middle school, school ends at 2:45, and that's an optional time that you get to go home. So if your parents choose to, you can leave school at 2:45, 2:50, go home and not go to office hours. But office hours is a great time to go to talk to some of your teachers, get to like do your homework, even if you have homework and you don't have any questions. Just go into that classroom that you have homework with, do the homework in there, and then if you happen to develop a question along the way, your teacher's right there and they can help you along with it. And it's also just a great place to ask for questions. Make sure you tell your children to go to office hours because it really is helpful, and you get a lot farther ahead in the curriculum.
So everybody, imagining if their kids were here with them, all right? So we have some advice about planners. We have some advice about making sure you go to office hours 2:45 to 3:30 at the end of the day. What's some other advice that you would give these rising 6th graders if they were here?
Always go out for the musical and the play. Even if you don't make it, it's really fun. If you do I tried out for the musical, but I didn't get it, so I did the tech team, and we helped do all the scenes and stuff, and it was really fun.
I would say, just encourage them to try everything because it's just all new learning. So don't, if you miss something out, that you could use the experience that everyone else is
All the activities that they offer after school are really good. You can practice with the wrestling team, with cross country, or with track and field. and then you can start competing when you're in 7th and 8th grade, and that's really fun.
Definitely encourage them to take a chance because there are a lot of clubs that maybe your kid didn't know they would like to do, and if you try them, they might love it and they might stick with it for a while.
I would definitely say try the sports because I did cross country and track. It was a great way to make friends that were in other grades and get to know the coaches really well. So next year I will be doing track and softball, so that'll be a lot of fun. And definitely try the clubs, and because I'm the only journalist in the journalist and photography club.
I would tell them to never wait till the last minute or to wait to do anything, because when you wait and you miss out on clubs or musicals or sports, you really regret it later. And for me at least, extended due dates were my worst enemy. I would always forget and push it off, and end up cramming a 6-page essay into one night. So always plan ahead and be ready.
Again, with Kadir, I am like the world's #1 procrastinator. Like, I bet I should probably get a gold medal for this. But so again, planners, I'm honestly gonna recommend them like so much. With homework, sometimes the teachers will say, or like the tests, they'll say, I don't think the class is ready, I'm gonna postpone the test. You start thinking, okay, I have a bunch of time to study for this test, there's no reason to do it tonight. Study that night. Don't wait. I usually did that, and then I ended up studying the last 1 or 2 nights, and it's stressful. So make sure that they do a good job of keeping up with their assignments, make sure they don't procrastinate, make sure they do it do their hardest work around, and make sure like do their best.
Kadir, while the microphone is near you, why don't you talk to the parents about the trials and tribulations of managing a locker in the locker commons?
Yes, your locker will be your child's home for the school year. It definitely wants to be organized, and my dad helps with that. James, I know, did the same thing. We got wood planks from Home Depot and made shelves so I can see each one of my binders and books. Because before then, I would scramble through my locker, almost late to class. Where's that one book? So your kid's locker needs to be organized if you want them to do well.
James, I'm not done with him yet. Kadir, do you have any strategies for remembering your locker combination so your grade chair doesn't have to use his key every day?
It wasn't working. But I would say definitely write it down and memorize it, because you don't have to fish for that piece of paper every day before class.
So I decorated my locker to make it feel more like me, and I put a bunch of pictures of my family, and I put wallpaper up, and I don't know, I just like it that way. I put my schedule up, so I would always know like what comes next or what time class ends. So it's really important to know your schedule and not constantly have to look at it, because sometimes I would forget it. And so it's really important that you know your schedule and you know where you're going.
I was going to say, somebody has a schedule. I don't remember, was it you in every notebook or something?
Okay, so I have another strategy. My mom came up with this. Thank you, Mom. It helps a lot. So what I did was, so at the beginning of the school year, grade chairs will print out like a schedule for you, and it's on a green sheet of paper. The one we got was not very visible, so my mom printed out like a lot more. So what we did was we took our binder, and it has that plastic like fold thing in the front where you can put a piece of paper in there. Just highlighted so on the piece of paper you have first period, second period, third period, fourth period. And if it was my first period of binder, I'd highlight first period on the calendar, put it in my binder. And then if I'm ever in class and I'm like, when is this in? I leave it.
Although he's never like, when is this?
If we pull out an example and say, oh, I'm bored in class, when is this class going to end? I always have that schedule, and I know it's going to end, but I'm never bored in class. Most of the time. But it's just really helpful, and I suggest that people do that. Also, here with the wood planks thing, I just found them at like Home Depot or something. We just had to measure out the locker. It was pretty simple. And then you just stick them in there and build it up. And I also have a strategy. It's my binders are color coded. So I have French is red, English is green, Math is blue, Science is black, World Cultures is white. So then, like when I go to my locker, I don't have to look for like this thing that says World Cultures. I can just like grab it and it goes. Quick and easy.
We have about 5 minutes before we let these kids go back to class. Do we have any questions from the studio audience? Yes, ma'am.
I'm curious to know about when some of these students might go to bed and wake up in the morning.
Ooh, that's a very good question. I'm sure they all go to bed at 8:30. And I'm sure they get up at 6:30. When do y'all go to bed?
I'm really bad about this, and I'm trying to get better.
It's not a good or bad, it just is. Right.
So some nights it'll be just I have a restless mind, so I'll be up until 11:30. But that can also be because of homework. So sometimes earlier than 11, but that's mainly it.
I try and go to bed between 9 and 9:30, and then I wake up in the morning around 7.
I go to bed at like between 10 and 10:30, and then in the morning my alarm goes off at 6:15, and I get out of bed at 6:45.
After school, I really cram my stuff, so I do all my homework, then I go to baseball, and then when I get home, I eat dinner, go to bed, and I go to bed around like 9. So if you really focus on your homework and don't really take any leisure time, then you're going to get the job done.
I did not realize I had so much in common with control. I do almost the exact same thing. If you go home and you do your homework right away, or somewhat right away, you have time to do what you want, like baseball practice or just whatever your child likes to do. But sometimes you won't be able to go to bed on time if it's a large amount of homework, or if he has a baseball game at night or some extracurricular activity. So just try to have a bedtime, because if you have a staggered schedule, it's probably not going to work very well.
We actually do have a homework policy. I mean, most of our teachers try to give 30 minutes of homework in the exam classes. I believe it's actually stated in the course handbook that it's between 30 and 45 minutes per exam course. There will be 4 exam courses. So it really should be evened out. Now, for those children who are motivated by proximity to deadlines, they may wait longer to start on a project or something, but we really do try to spread it out over the evening. And then there are the courses that I teach, like music theater, chorus, orchestra, band, visual arts. Oh, do we all do that in 6th grade? Visual arts. I'm sorry. I teach theater. Those are no homework courses. There might be something we need you to do like 10, 15 minutes at night to study lines when we're doing a production or something like that. But we really do. We are not I have 20 hours of homework and wear it like a wonderful badge of honor. It really is. We try to balance it out.
How many of y'all have cell phones?
Ooh, the cell phone question. It's okay, it's not bad.
So, my parents say no cell phones, 6th grade. My brother only recently got his in 9th grade. Cell phones are a good topic. So, here's the thing with cell phones. They're on the balance of good and evil. They're teetering, like
They'll live in the locker during the school day. Yeah, if you choose to give your kid a cell phone, it lives in the locker during the school day. They're not allowed to have them in class. And from my vantage point in the locker commons, if the locker door is open and they're in there talking on the cell phone, presumably calling you all, then that's fine, and then it gets hung up and it gets put back. Because it is convenient at the end of the day in terms of linking up the carpool and are you going to office hours and all that sort. So we understand that, but it's not, no one's walking down the hallway on the way to science class on the cell phone. Yes, ma'am.
Are they used like in group me for homework at all?
I can say that I actually have a lot of group chats on my phone, and I text with some friends sometimes. Usually, if the occasional time where a student will forget to bring a paper home or other homework cases, they will text a friend or email someone, or for some reason in case they need something. But yeah.
I would say being a parent of a 6th grader who does have a cell phone. For her, it is a social outlet. She's an introvert. She is not one. At the end of the school day, she wants to go home. I know, introvert, it's amazing. But, she's like her dad. But she wants to decompress. But then in the evening, after she's finished all of her homework, and after she showered and had dinner. Now we have clear, I think it's really important at this age, you have clear boundaries, okay? You have 30 minutes on your phone, and so she will text on her phone, she'll do whatever, close your ears, Scott. I have access to everything on her phone, don't talk. She knows that. So I give her that. I try to guide her with that. We also do not live in this neighborhood, so that's how she's going to communicate with her friends best. That was a choice I made. I don't think it's the right choice for every parent. They do live in the locker. We really encourage them to speak face-to-face with their peers during the school day. And again, we have clear guidelines. The phone does not come to our table. The phone, even in the car, most of the times I ask her not to be on the phone when we're in the car so that we can talk. So I think with a deliberate action plan, your child can be successful with the phone. But again, they're 11, 12 years old and they do need those boundaries. I think that's my take on it as a grade chair and as a parent.
And let me just take us, because I know we'll run out of time, and I'm probably the yin to Susan Jiang as another 6th grade parent of a girl who doesn't have a cell phone. And we could talk about the pros and cons of both of our choices, but we will have a technology-focused meeting in the fall, just before school begins. We're in the first week, right at the beginning of school next year, and we'll be able to talk through some of that. I will just say, I'm so glad that somebody asked the group text question, because what you'll hear from our deans is that group texts are definitely on the evil side of the balance.
Yeah.
Much of the challenge that we see students running into often starts with kind of, a group that was formed for good reason and has sort of gone off track, taking the entire group with it along the way. But we'll talk much more about that and try to give you some, whatever pearls of wisdom we can from our experience. I will say that, my strategy is always, wait as long as you can, because once you do cross into that world, it is a whole new world in terms of your parenting and monitoring. And so my encouragement is to wait, but I know people make the choice at the time that they do for a wide variety of reasons and very understandable reasons.
So let me just clarify. There's no expectation from teachers or coaches that you'll be on any type of social media to get notifications?
No. None.
And they have access to phones. They don't
Yes, they have access to a phone on every teacher's
desk.
Yeah, and they also have their computers, so you can email with them. I mean, we don't allow them to check their email during the middle of a class, but they certainly can check it at all the times that they might have checked the phone. All right, let's take one more, and then we're gonna let these guys get back to class.
When I got my phone, my parents made me sign a 2-page contract. But I just got my phone in September, and I was really excited. But the contract said, like, my mom can read my texts. I'm not allowed to, like, be on my phone all the time. I can't get any apps without my mom's permission. Like, there's a lot of that stuff.
Good stuff. Yes, ma'am. Last question.
Back to homework for a second. Compared to 5th grade, how would you say the workload is now in 6th grade?
It's a lot more, like based on my class size in Viasana. We had maybe 1 page of math a night, and now we have a lot more. Like each night I have about an hour on a good night, sometimes 2 hours if it gets to be a lot.
I had some really hard 4th grade teachers, so it's about the same as my 4th grade teachers who are Miss Shonda and Miss Lee. So
Very excellent teachers.
But it's about the same amount as that, but 5th grade is a lot less homework than it was now.
I kind of disagree. Sometimes you don't have any homework, and sometimes you can get the homework done in your classes. And so 5th grade, I actually had a little bit more homework to do than I do in 6th grade.
Who do you have?
Miss Heller.
And I think some of it has to do with your child. If your child is really worn out at 2:45, he or she may need 15, 20 minutes to stare, to just be down, and then they'll get on it. It also depends on how your child processes. If your child is a slower processor, that does not mean he or she is not brilliant. It just means it might take him or her longer to finish that math homework. So I think it's hard for us to say that this is this set amount of homework for every single 6th grade student. I think it's going to be individualized to some extent, but we do ask the children to stop doing homework after 30 to 45 minutes. If it's just grueling and your child is crying, stop. Also, if it gets late, close their computer and take it away and say, go to bed. The grade chair, and then send them to the grade chair. Sleep is vitally important in 6th grade. It is, I know y'all are young adults and you are right, but it's just 6th grade. It really is.
And
If that makes
remember,
sense.
sorry, Susan,
No.
remember, a couple of the guys have talked about office hours. If you're not worn out at 2:45 and you figure out how to use that time wisely, you can go to the teacher's classroom with the homework that the teacher assigned and do it there with the teacher, and it's done before you go home. So some of this is just sort of time management and a kid's daily rhythm. Some guys love that, and some guys need to go play foursquare basketball before they start thinking about work again. So it really does just depend on your kid.
So would all the teachers be available during that sort of post 2:45?
Absolutely.
Well, here's one thing I do want to just encourage you on. These are, when we thought about bringing the students together, I didn't even think about how much they have grown over the course of this year. You're seeing works in progress. These are kids who probably they all came into 6th grade looking and feeling just like your 5th graders now. And I know they sound so wise and they've got it all together. But it's been through the process of the year, and that's been work with their parents, right? Figuring out systems or things that aren't working and problem solving around them. It's been work with their grade chairs, with their teachers, with their advisor, and their own reflection and learning along the way. And 6th grade is an opportunity to do that. That's what 6th grade is about. So don't feel like your child has to be here to enter into the middle school. They really do not. We take them as they are, and we work with them, and we work with you to help them get to the point like these students are, where they're starting to understand what works for them and starting to develop the systems that will help them be successful all the way through. So will you join me in just thanking our You guys did a phenomenal job. Thank you. You made us look really good. Thanks for that.